Welcome to the MOOC lecture topic on midbrain. At the end of this video presentation, you should be able to identify the parts of the midbrain, list the important functions of the various subdivisions. Mesencephalon or midbrain is located in between thalamus and hypothalamus. The diencephalon and pons of rhombencephalon. On hemisection of the brain, midbrain is identified by the presence of cerebral aqueduct and superior and inferior colliculus. The midbrain is about 2 centimeters in length. It is traversed by the cerebral aqueduct. Anteriorly, it has interpeduncular fossa bounded on either side by the crus cerebri. Posteriorly, there are 4 round eminences in 2 rows known as superior and inferior colliculi, corpora quadrigemina. The area of the midbrain behind the cerebral aqueduct is known as tectum. The area in front comprises 2 lateral halves, called the cerebral peduncles. Each of these peduncles are divided by the substantia nigra into an anterior part, the crus cerebri, and a posterior part, the tegmentum. The superior and inferior colliculi are present in the tectum of the midbrain. The superior colliculus is involved in preliminary visual processing and control of eye movements. The inferior colliculus is involved in auditory processing. The cerebral aqueduct is the narrow cavity of the midbrain. It connects the 3rd and 4th ventricles. It is lined by the ependymal cells. It contains cerebrospinal fluid. The tegmentum is the portion of the midbrain ventral to the cerebral aqueduct, and is much larger in size than the tectum. Additional structures include the reticular formation, red nucleus, trochlear nucleus, oculomotor nucleus, mesencephalic nucleus of trigeminal nerve, the medial, spinal, and trigeminal lemnisci. Tegmentum is a multisynaptic network of neurons, involved in subconscious homeostatic and reflex pathways. It relays inhibitory signals to the thalamus and basal ganglia and regulates uncontrolled movements. It also contributes to the eye movements. It is the location for cranial nerve nuclei for 3, 4, 5 and 8. Reticular formation is not anatomically well defined. It resembles a net or reticular. It is made up of deeply placed continuous network of nerve cells and fibers that extend from the spinal cord through the medulla, the pons, the midbrain, the subthalamus, the hypothalamus, and the thalamus. Functionally, it includes ascending pathways to the cortex in the ascending reticular activating system and ascending pathways to the spinal cord via the descending reticulospinal tracts, which involve in somatic motor control, cardiovascular control, pain modulation, sleep and consciousness, habituation. The red nucleus is a rounded mass of gray matter. It is situated between the cerebral aqueduct and the substantia nigra. It appears reddish in fresh specimens. It is due to its vascularity and the presence of an iron-containing pigment in the cytoplasm of many of its neurons. It involves in motor coordination, including coordination of muscle tone, body position and gait. The substantia nigra is a large motor nucleus situated between the tegmentum and the crus cerebri and is found throughout the midbrain. The nucleus is composed of medium-sized multipolar neurons that possess inclusion granules of melanin pigment within their cytoplasm. It is also considered as part of the limbic system. It helps in reward and movement. The crus cerebri contains important descending tracts and is separated from the tegmentum by the substantia nigra. The corticospinal and corticonuclear fibers occupy the middle two-thirds of the crus. The frontopontine fibers occupy the medial part of the crus, and the temporopontine fibers occupy the lateral part of the crus. It contains the motor tracts, traveling from the thalamus to pons and spine. Thank you for watching the presentation. Your feedback is most valuable.